Okay, I'd like to welcome you all to another one of our paid pool funding trainings that we do on Mondays and Thursdays every week. It happens to be Monday. Thank God it's Monday. I always look forward to Mondays. So it's Monday, September 29th at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're very excited to be here. We got a lot to cover today. And so I'm going to start off by sharing my screen and showing you what I consider a solid achievement. Okay, so let me share my screen. And here we go. All right. So I want you to look at this chart right here, and I want you to see what happened. Okay. So you can see that we allowed people to sell the coin off $20 a pop. You know, I believe that was yesterday morning, my time. And so for about 2 hours, people were allowed to sell, and then we got down to $1 million, and then we stopped the selling. Okay. The fact that we stopped the selling right at the $1 million, that's an achievement. Would you guys agree that's an achievement?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, that's not
Yes.
the first time we've achieved it because we achieved it over here too. Okay. Over here, we hit the price target of 1 million, and then we let people sell. And it's okay up to we stopped the selling at 800,000. And guess what? The selling stopped at 800,000 and it works. So that's two in a row. So that's something we're celebrating, right?
Yes, indeed.
All
Mhm.
right. That's pretty
Yeah.
exciting. So, yes, what we're doing is working, but I need to make it very clear what we're doing, okay? Just in case some people might not understand. We want PML to be that coin that we can go to fiat. Okay. What I'm talking about is paper money. Okay. Now, it's a brand new coin. It's only been around 2 months. It took us a little bit of time to get it up to $1 million where it's, that's a comfortable place for it to be. And in fact, if it can just stay above $1 million indefinitely, I think we'd be great. Okay. But we actually have our eye on a $2 million target, but we're going to ratchet it up. Okay. So the reason we're doing this is that we want a strong enough price stability so that when people want to sell their PML coin for USDT or whatever, that there's not a problem, okay? That they can do it. But up until the point of being able to do that, it's going to be like an on-off switch, on, off, on, off. So far we've demonstrated the on-off switch has already worked twice, okay? We've done it 2 times so far, on, off, okay? It's just interesting how the off switch is much longer than the on switch, okay? Because it really shouldn't be. But there's two sides to the coin. I'll be talking about the two sides of the coin today. But realize that um, when we have price stability, then we'll be able to fully demonstrate the idea that you can take coins, you don't have to sell them, you can just borrow against them, pay off your loan, and come out ahead. Okay, that's the message we want to drive. That's why we created the PML website in the first place, was to demonstrate that as a possibility, as something that can be done. It's already being done with certain coins like Bitcoin, for example, or Ethereum. It's already been being done for coins like that who have really matured coins, on a large scale. Like if you have $1 million of Bitcoin, you could easily get a $500,000 loan, paper money, and there's several platforms you can go to do that. Okay, right now today they exist already, and I imagine they're going to multiply. Those platforms are going to multiply. You know, probably one of the fastest growing segments of the space, I would think, going forward. So just know that the intention and what we're doing with pool, PML is pool micro lending. So what we're demonstrating on a micro scale, what's possible on a macro scale with just like unlimited number. I mean, if you've got $1 billion of Bitcoin, okay, yeah, if you're talking to the right people, you will probably use that as collateral, to get hundreds of millions of dollars, no problem. And so that's the power of this digital money is that it actually has you know the power to just expand on itself. Because imagine you don't have to sell something, you borrow against it, you get more, and then you pay off your loan, but now you got more. Now you can borrow even more, right? So it's you can see like the Michael Saylors of the world, how their strategy is working, and it's actually going to be probably one of the most popular things to do going forward. Okay. At some point, humanity will wake up that the trader game is a losing game for 90% of the people playing it. Okay. And that only 10% of people are smart enough to beat the artificial intelligence, whatever they're competing against, in order to win at the trader game. And it's a much smarter game to play the equity game, where you use equity and you borrow against it. That's an easier way to create long-term wealth and not lose what you got. So, all right. So let me go back to sharing my screen. Now, we've been doing paid training now for a couple of weeks, and everybody seems to be pretty excited about that. But in order to make this balanced, I've been working very hard to get the price of the PFG coin up to $1 million to kind of be compatible with the $1 million PML coin. Okay. And so I was able to work with the whales, more than twice recently to get the price up to $1 million, only to have, it being sold off. So that's one side of the coin. Okay. We're going to be looking at these sellers for a second here, but I need you guys to understand that that's only one side of the coin. Okay. Yeah. Some of these people are going to come in and take advantage, and they're going to throw away their inheritance for the short-term gain that they might collect now. And maybe not even really understand what they're losing, but trust me, later on they'll have regret when it becomes clear what they lost. They'll surely have regret. Because most of these people that are selling off today, 1 or 2 months from now, they'll be in bad shape again. And so, whereas those of you that stick with the program, you're gonna be set for life, right? And it's much better to be set for life than it is to be, have a short-term gain, and then it evaporates as you just overspend because you got something a little too easy. So that's twice that I've done that. But the other side of the coin is the buying pressure. Okay, now outside of some of our wells, there's been very, very, very little buying pressure on the PFG coin. Okay, that's your responsibility. Okay, so I've already done it twice. I've already helped you get that up there to $1 million twice. Um, and so now, as of this training and all trainings going forward, this is paid training still, but it's based on that the maximum that we'll ever pay you would be based on the fact that the price of PFG is $1 million. Okay. Let me share my screen here. Share screen. We'll go back in Telegram here. All right, let's take a look here. Make some announcements here. Well, speaking of sellers, um, where to go? Let's see here. There's a particular seller I'm looking for. There, yeah, that one. PFG. Okay, our chill 45, under Dexter 27. Yeah, you. What the hell? What are you doing? Okay. You sold off PFG like 299, 109, 98. $507 of PFG all in a single day. Okay. I would say probably Filipino, right? By the looks of it. Uh, you don't need that much money, honestly, people live on half of that for a whole month, you know, and you're just gonna just sell it all out. You haven't got anything left over here, pretty much sold everything you had because it's down to a few cents there left over. Anyway, so that's one side of the coin is sellers like that can come and just hammer it down. Okay. But they only have that power to hammer it down because of the lack of buying pressure on it. Okay. And if you're getting 1,000 to 1, if you're getting because of the new coins coming out, you're really kind of like I'm going to use the word assured. Okay. It's a powerful word, right? You're assured of getting 1,000 times your money, you know, by buying. So it makes sense to buy. Okay. And so since there's a lack of buying pressure, it's time for you guys to put some buying pressure on here because the maximum we will pay you in any one of our paid trainings is going to be 0.00005 PFG. And that's based on $1 million. Okay. So if you take $50 divided by a million, that's how you get that number. Okay. So that means that the price of PFG needs to be $1 million in order for you to enjoy receiving $50 for paid training. But right now, the price of PFG, like I showed you before, is currently sitting at about a half million. So unless you guys get going right now and start pitching in and buying that up, I mean, 50 of you could probably get it there back to a million. If you just all put a little bit in, put 10, 20, $30 in right now, push it back up to a million before the programmer pays you all today, right? It's up to you. There's 300 of you listening to me. If 10% of you catch the message and realize that your paid training, how much you get paid is now in your hands, not in mine. How much you get paid is on you. You're going to get $50 or less. Okay. Hunter, I hope you're on topic here because I'm not ready for a rabbit trail.
Just asking if we want to store in that now, actually, the address sending, that is.
Yeah, go ahead. Thanks for reminding me. Nancy, let's go ahead
Alrighty.
and open up the chat and put your wallet address in there one time. I know some of you are sitting next to each other, so in the case of in that happening, you could put the two different wallet addresses in if you're sharing a device. I know Kay, for example, has got Miki sitting next to her. Isn't that right, Kay? So anyway, so if there's two of you sitting next to each other, you can certainly, put the two different wallet addresses in to cover both of you that are sitting next to each other in that case. But other than that, it should only be one address, your address, right? And let's be honest, okay? All right. So now $25 is what you'll be paid today for this training if the price remains at a half million. And if the price goes down when we do our opportunity meeting tomorrow, then you get less than $25 if the price goes down. It's no longer in my hands. I'm now shifting it all over to you, the collective. Okay? It's up to you as the collective to you're going to get paid what you're worth. As a collective, are you just there to collect or are you there to provide as well? Is there balance in the equation? Okay? So everybody should get on board with the idea of getting PFG up to $1 million. Can I get some shout outs? Who's on board with getting the price of PFG back to $1 million? Who's on board with that?
Let's get her done.
Yes.
I am.
Yes,
Okay.
me.
Get
I am.
husband
All right.
Gotta be done.
Get
I
get
am.
get it
My
done and
husband.
make it happen. And just remember that, when on October 15th, we're coming up to a deadline here where the 1,000x opportunity goes away. So anything you do now times 1,000, that's really the value of what we're looking at here, right? So it definitely will pay well to support these things. Okay. All right. So back to sharing my screen. Got more announcements. So that's one very important announcement that from now on, the maximum we'll pay out is 0.0005, four zeros and a five after the decimal. Okay. And, that's the maximum we'll pay. So if the price goes below $1 million, you don't get more. You get less, right? You get less. All right. If it goes above $1 million, you get less, but you're getting a coin that's got a higher value, right? So it balances that way. Now, the next thing I want to share is I put this 24-hour notice up. Okay. So this is Ace. We have waited long enough. All unverified accounts will be suspended on October 1st, 2025. Okay. So if I go into my genealogy here to show you how many there are, okay, we've given these people 4 months. Okay. They've had 4 months to get it together. Okay, so you see all these people that don't have a picture here, okay? All of those are unverified. Okay. And this is just the first three levels below me. Okay. So all those that don't have a picture, clearly unverified members there. So that's how you know. You just go into your genealogy and see who's not verified, but that's it. I've been waiting long enough because the door between the old coin and the new coin and the migration, that door closes in 2 weeks. Okay. So yeah, you got up to 2 weeks to get verified so you don't miss out on that. And even if we suspend your account, you can still get verified. Okay. And that could possibly lift the suspension for you. Okay. That could possibly lift the suspension, so basically there'll be a careful examination of your of the coins that you have and da 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 and what you've been doing with them. Have you been a seller? So there you go. If you're a seller, probably not going to unsuspend you, probably just remain suspended unless you're willing to do some restitution, you know. But if you're just someone who's just not caring enough to go through the verification process, your time is up. We need to know who you are. We're looking at you as a co-founder. Like I've always said, like that's like a co-owner. We want to know who you are. If you're going to come in and be sharing in the ownership of what we're building together, get verified so we know who you are. You've had plenty of time and you need to get down and talk to your teams because once we know who you are, right? Then if you misbehave, at least we got a picture we can put on onto the Telegram channel and say, here's someone that's thrown away their inheritance for pennies, and it's a shame. It's a shame that they would do that to themselves, but at the same time they've hurt the whole community. And yeah, it can get a little emotional, right? So, but yeah, we want to know who you are for a couple of different reasons, okay? We got to make sure that a person only has one account. Okay, that's the first thing. Secondly, we want to make sure that you got some skin in the game, that you're serious about what we're doing here. Okay. Because we're trying to turn you into a millionaire, multimillionaire and beyond, but we need your full cooperation, to do that. And without that cooperation, you're basically, cutting yourself out of what we're doing. Okay. So at some point you're going to self-eliminate. Okay. We'd much rather have you self-eliminate now before October 15th than afterwards. So if you're going to self-eliminate, get it done, get it over with, right? Bye-bye. So there's that. So you got basically till, because on October 1st, remember all those posters from last month where the executive said you had until October 1st to get verified? Okay. The only reason we extended that was because of, we needed a little more time in order to do the one-for-one migration from the old coin to the new coin. Okay. And what am I talking about there? All right, share my screen. If you look at your account here, and I always like to look at the $100 pool. Let's just go there. Okay. These values you see right here are based on the new coin. Okay. You see, that's what 1.5 PFS coins is worth. It's worth $3 million. Okay. If you look at the chart here, PFS says it's only worth $846. It's kind of weird because if you look at this chart here, go to PFS. It says it's worth 7,900. So if there's something, I think there could be something wrong with this particular charting system because their numbers seem to be stuck, you know. So I don't know what's going on with them. Maybe they're lacking funding and they can't keep up with what they got to do. I'm trusting more what the Ape Space is telling me. Okay. But according to Ape Space here, the value is 7,900 for PFS. Okay. Which, if you got 1.5 coin, that'd be what, about 10,000, $11,000, right? So isn't $3 million better than 10, $11,000? Isn't that better? Right? So think about that's the inheritance here. Okay, for the inheritance for sticking with us and for taking a ride with us, been a roller coaster ride. All the innovation we've been going through takes time to make things, takes time to get things into place. There's setbacks, there's disappointment. Well, the payoff is the inheritance, right? So hang in there because it's going to be worth it. Okay. I mean, this is much better than 11,000. Wouldn't you guys agree? Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. I totally agree.
All right. Okay. So, people need to realize what they're throwing away when they sell prematurely, when they don't, cooperate, they don't get verified. They need to realize what they're throwing away. Let's not let our teams, remain in ignorance. If you're looking at your genealogy and you see a bunch of white circles, hey, maybe you're the problem because you're not communicating with your team, right? I always said communicate 5 levels down, 5 levels up, communicate, get those lines of communication open where you're talking to each other, right? But now the time is up. Tomorrow, that's it. If you are not verified, your account is suspended. You can change that by contacting a member of the executive
Uh,
team and then get verified. But they're going to grill you much harder starting on October 2nd than they will now. Okay, they're going to be like, okay, share your screen. Let's take a look at your wallet. Okay, let's look at your addresses. Okay, let's go look at the blockchain. Let's see what your activity looks like with the coins. Are you selling anything? What took you so long to get verified? What was your reason for that? They're going to have a lot more questions for you, because you took so long to get verified. So you got 24 hours, guys. It's pretty painless. So the next 24 hours, just grab an executive and say, hey, I want to get verified. And and ask them to to trust you as well. Like if you're not doing anything that you create distrust, and just say, please mark me as trusted as well, because that would qualify you for paid training as well. And brand new people, you should be verified day one. Okay, so a person signs up, and then after they've completed that process of signing up, they should be led directly to the executive that's on duty at that moment and get them verified on the spot. That should just be part of the sign up process. Should be sign up and get verified all on the same day. Should I repeat that? Because some of you have added 7 days to this, and there's no need to do that. Do I need to repeat that? Probably do. Get verified the same day you sign up going forward. Okay? Get verified the same day you sign up going forward. Make sure you spread that to all of your team. that verification should be immediate, and they should be, they should be trusted. So, all the executives, you need, if it's a brand new person and they don't have a history with us, then we can just mark them as trusted, right? So, and go from there. All right. Now, so that means someone could qualify for paid training right away. Now we have about 1,000 people who are currently qualified under the current qualifications for paid training right now. Okay. Um, Only 300 people can come into this meeting, okay, or the meetings that I do. So that means not everybody can come in. So it should be a little bit of a battleground. Like today, it looked like it went on for about 5 or 10 minutes before all the seats were filled. Okay. And so, yeah, so there's room here to come in, but should be people should be fighting to get into the paid training, because if you come a little bit too late, even if you wanted it to be in the paid training, you might miss out. So remember, paid training starts at 9:15. You want to come in at 9:15. Okay. Maybe 9:14. If you're really paranoid, 9:10 and just wait, right? And so, but yeah, but you want to come, around that time so you can be sure to get in before we start the training at 9:30. Okay. Okay. So let's see here. Let me share my screen again. Seems like a little bit of confusion about the $100 PML purchase. Okay. Let's go back to account. Okay. Buy now. Okay. This is where you make your purchase to take advantage of the promo. When you do it here, you don't get $100 of PML, you get $200. So you're buying 100 from the market and you're getting 100 out of the stockpile. Just on, by going through the process here. It's a couple of clicks and it engages your wallet, and then you get a receipt right here, of what of you being paid. Okay. You're getting the PML. Now, this is not just a promotion, this is a requirement if you want paid training. Okay. But you have till the 15th to get it done, October 15th. Okay. So we're going to, if you have the 4 check marks before the 15th, you're fine. Okay. But from the October 15th going forward, you'll need to purchase at least $100 of PML one time, not every month, not every day, one time. Just asking everybody to do it one time. That includes all the people that have already bought PML. That includes you too. Just buy another $100, so that includes everybody. We technically have, thousands of people. If everybody bought, we could have tens of thousands of dollars of positive buying pressure on the PML coin. Like I said, the other side of the coin here is the buying pressure. Buying pressure is what gets us up to the next target. The next target being 1.4 million, and then we'll open up selling again. Okay. So just remember, this is our cheat sheet here. Okay, this is what we're going off of right here. Okay, I posted that several times in the wall of joy. Okay, so we're currently sitting right here. The 1.2 million, we've come back down to a million. So now we're on our way to 1.4 million right there. Okay, so that's where we're at. So we're like right about here right now. Okay, right about there. Okay, and we need to get to here. We'll open up selling again, probably again $20. And again, guys, just because you think you can outsmart us doesn't mean you will. Okay. If you think that you could just transfer your coin, your PML coin over to, wallet to wallet to wallet, we're just going to trace it all the way back to the source. And if you think you can double dip or triple dip or 10 dip or whatever you're trying to do, to accumulate $20 bills, man, you're really working hard for nothing, because we're going to catch you and we're going to suspend you and you're going to lose your inheritance. Okay. It's yours to lose. If you want to throw away your inheritance, go right ahead. Okay. We're talking millions of dollars here. Some of you have given up your inheritance for hundreds of dollars. You've traded hundreds of dollars for millions of dollars because you're not right in the head. Okay. Something wrong with the way you're looking at the world, the way you're looking at pool funding. All the short term games, just put them away. Okay. And honestly, if you just go to the mirror and check yourself and ask yourself how important it is to be an honest person, maybe make some adjustments there. Okay. Some of you, life has beaten you to the point where you feel like dishonesty is just a way of life. You know what I'm saying? That, maybe you live by the code of a thief. You know what I'm saying? You might want to set that code aside because it's not going to fit here in pool funding. Okay. You might want to change, right? You might want to change for your own benefit because the liars and the thieves and the people that are going to just be doing dishonest things, they're going to be cut out. They're going to be carved out of the community and pushed aside. We will use artificial intelligence to lock in on your face for the rest of your life and ban you from ever being a part of what we're doing. It's not worth it. AI is getting smarter. Okay. Your face is your ticket. That's your inheritance right there. Okay. It's tied to your face. Okay. That's your inheritance. So there you go. So what we need is full cooperation as we get closer to the 15th of October. We're going to transition from old coin to new coin. It's going to take about a year. But that year gives us time to really settle down on who we are, what we're doing, and then it gives us like a fresh, clean start. It's like a reset. So that we can just basically start fresh. We'll have a lot more tools now than we did before. Since our last reset. It's funny how these resets tend to happen around November. Um, but anyway, yeah, we've got a lot more capability now than we ever had before, and we built some stuff, and it's now, um, you know, uh, why go against it, right? We're for you. Why don't you be for yourself so that we can help you, achieve the ultimate goals that you want for yourself. Okay. Now, if you're resisting paying $100 because you have the I can't attitude, like, oh, I guess I'm only going to do training up until the 15th. Why? Why are you selling yourself short? You really, really must have a bad opinion of yourself. If you really think that $100 is going to get in your way of collecting, all that paid training that's going to be coming in, ongoing, right? Thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, which are multiplying, in what we're doing could be, it's just big money, big money. Why believe that you can't? Okay. Change your belief to you can. I mean, I've shown this image to a lot of people here. Let's see here. Where'd it go? Where is it? Oh, there it is. I had a blind spot there for a second. Yep. Cut out the can't, guys. Cut it out. Start believing you can. This world is not going to change until you can. Okay. Boy, there's layers to what I just said there. Okay. If you only knew the truth, how much this world depends on you, because I'm talking about my world, but you should be looking at your world because you have more power over your world than you may realize. Okay. It might look like we're all sharing the same thing, but I don't think that's the case. I think that we all are creating our own situations. Okay. So take charge of your situation. Stop selling yourself short and just believe that you can. It's only $100 one time. You're going to want to get it done. It helps put positive buying pressure on PML. PML is our exit into fiat. We want that to be something that we can just keep that selling switch, turned on, all the time, right? We got to build up to that though. We're going on, off, on, off, on, off right now. But the point is that the stronger we get here in this in people coming in, they come up with $100 right away to take advantage of the promo. They're getting $200 of PML for the cost of 100, like instant. Okay, and then the idea is to make it so that you have the ability to sell at any time. It's called price stability. We're on stage 2 right now, creating price stability. That's what we're doing. So support that, okay, by believing in yourself. Come up with $100, You'd be surprised what happens between a person that was thinking one way and then they change their mind and they think the right way, how fast things can work for that person. You'd be surprised. I've seen it an endless amount of times, okay? I've seen people change. And I've seen how the world changes with them. Okay. All of a sudden, the things that they didn't think they could have, they start getting to have. The opportunities, start pouring in on them. Or maybe they start recognizing the opportunities when they show up. Maybe they were blind to see them before because they believed in that they couldn't do something, right? I mean, all of the great leaders of the world will talk about this one thing. Whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you are absolutely right. You're the one that determines that. It's your choice. Change that one thing and your whole life can change for the better. Stop the whole idea that you can't. Take the whole idea, take that word out of your vocabulary. If it's possible to shed that word, if you find yourself using that word as you speak, as you go around and interact with your family, your friends, whatever, coworkers, people, and you find yourself speaking the word can't, you might want to check yourself on that because the more often you use it, the more harm it does. Okay. It's much better to just believe that you can. And even if you don't know how, even if you say, I know I can because I believe in miracles. I know I can because I believe in miracles. Even if that's what you got to lean on to make the word can a reality for you, then believe in miracles for goodness sake. I am like the biggest fan of miracles. I see them everywhere all the time. All the time. I don't believe in them anymore. I expect them, okay? Every day I expect another miracle to show up. Every single day. And it does. Man, I could just tell you so many stories, but we'd be here too long if I told you all the stories. Miracles happen, but you're the source of the miracle. You're the one that chooses for yourself. Okay. So, the only thing going to stop you from getting paid training ongoing is that, right? We're going to ask you to step it up, step it up, step it up. But each step is within reason. So I'm looking at Joe here. He's dead center on my screen. I don't know if he's dead center for you. But Joe, wouldn't you agree with me that $100 is such a small thing to pay to have access to paid training? Wouldn't you agree with that?
I would say yes.
And would
I
you
know
also,
sometimes for some people, $100 might be a little bit hard to come by, but where there's a will, there's a way. You can always find a way to scrounge it up and make it happen.
that's right. Exactly. And also, don't you think it's better that the community is working with people that our training is filled with people that can do it, right? Imagine if our training was just filled with a bunch of people that think that they can't do it. And we're just training a bunch, imagine we training 300 people, multiple times a week, and all of them believe they can't do something, right? Then what's the whole point of the training, right?
right.
So, we need to filter out. We have 1,000 people that are qualified now, right? So let's see what happens. What kind of number do we end up with, by October 15th? Okay. I hope we have 1,000 people by October 15th that have paid it, you know what I'm saying? And got that done. But if we don't, if that number goes down, it just shows you that we're not giving people money that probably aren't ready for it. If you can't afford to pay $100, then we probably can't afford to pay you $50, right, Joe?
Right.
Because we're putting too much temptation in the hand of someone like that, right? Yeah,
Yep, absolutely right.
yeah. So Joe's a well. He's not a small one. He's a big well, and it's disappointing when you see what happens. And we're trying to help these people, and then just some of these people just come in and tear down the charts, and it can be very disappointing. And but the good news is it doesn't matter because the new coin is going to wash all that away anyway. Doesn't it feel good, Joe, to know that the good coin washes all that emotional baggage away? You know?
Yeah, it's good to know that things are, on the ups and up, the up and up. So, yeah, so there are good days ahead,
Yeah. So we've got
prosperous days ahead. Yeah.
big time.
And I think too, you know, don't wait for, don't expect that, well, the price will go up because these other people are going to be kicking in. I think if at all possible, obviously, the more of us that can make that happen and kick in $100 into the PML, it's going to make a huge, huge difference. So don't wait, you know, and, don't wait for others to do it so that you don't have to. Do the best you can to be a part of that, to rise it, get it to rise up and continue to grow.
Very good. Now, I want to mention one other thing, and that is that the opportunity to use the promo over and over and over and over again, that's going to end today. Okay. So I'm going to meet with the programmer and we're going to turn that off. So you only be able to use the promo one time after today. So for those of you that maybe have the other side of the problem, like you got a lot of extra money, you know what I'm saying? This is instant double money kind of deal. You don't have to wait a month. It's just instant, right? So maybe buy up as much PML as you can. If you've got less than $6,000 of PML, you're short. As far as I'm concerned, you need at least 6,000 so that you can create a $3,000 a month income. This is what I'm creating, guys. I'm creating a situation that with price stability in place, once that's done, once we have achieved that, then everybody that's making, that's got $6,000, they literally could pull out 3,000 every month and use that, pay their bills, whatever. You know what I'm saying? They can do whatever they want with it. That's what we're creating here. So PML, if you get twice as much of it for the next few hours, you got a few more hours, and then that's going to be turned off, and then you'll be able to do it one time, and it's not one time a month. It's just one time. That's all. That's the only requirement. It's a promo for one time. If you want to double your money, you use the lending website. It takes a month to do it. Whatever. That's the whole point of the lending website, right? We don't want to compete with ourselves in that way for very long. So even though I didn't tell the program to do it that way, that's what he did. And it's like, oh, we'll fix that later. And well, later's today. Okay, this is it. So if you want to get some extra PML, if you got less than 6,000, maybe you should. And if you have the ability to do it, then do it. Buy as much as you can. You can go in there, $100, $100, $100, and you're doubling every time. Get as much as you can, because once we have price stability, this will be a solid $3,000 a month income coming in that'll give you your baseline for everything else we're going to do in pool funding going forward. So there you go. All right. So Hunter, am I leaving anything out? Did I forget anything important?
Not that I can think of.
Okay, so we know a lot's coming up. Like, today is the last day of the month here, basically, and October 1st comes up, and so get verified because if you're not verified, then you get suspended. Okay, so and what does that look like? What does it mean by getting suspended? Okay, let me show you. If your account is suspended, here's what happens.
You're not sharing.
Oh, thank you for telling me. Share screen. You'll come to pool funding and you'll be on the home page here. Okay. And it'll recognize your wallet address, right? It'll recognize your wallet address, when you connect your wallet. So that part will work. But when you go to click on go to my account from the home page, it'll come up with a notice saying your account has been suspended. So you lose access to everything here, all of this, all this information, all this good stuff to know. Okay. All the promos, everything in the list of things you can access here. All of that is not available if your account's suspended. The only thing you'll see is the homepage. That's it. There's not much you can do here on the homepage except look it over. You know what I'm saying? Can't really interact with it. So if that's the case, you need to get to one of our executives, one of our on the executive team. We've got 6 of them. They work around the clock. Okay. So there's no excuse. Okay. All right. We're here for you. We're making sure that we're here for you so that, there's no reason for you not to get verified. Okay. So they're working around the clock for you. So that's what happens, guys, if you get suspended. So it'll feel like a burn if you get suspended. Trust me. I've talked to people who've been suspended and they're shocked. They can't get into the information they had access to before. So don't let that happen to you. So I don't know. I do want this to be an uplifting, training, but it's been a lot of warnings today, right? I've warned you and warned you and warned you. It's Monday. You need to be aware because we're running out of time. The timeline to get the $1,000, 1000X, it ends soon. Most likely the 15th of October. Okay. Not sooner, but it could be a little bit later. But we've earmarked the 15th of October for this transition to start from the old coin to the new coin. Okay. And that's where your inheritance will kick in. In a year out from now, you'll be so happy you cooperated and we're compliant, and we'll be because the community is so much stronger after we hit that line. So yeah, those could be opportunities to 10x, maybe more, but the 1000x gone. That never coming back. Never, never, ever. Okay. This is the window. So we're going to get your attention if your account gets suspended and then you're like going in there like, oh, da da da. We're also going to remove you from the wall of joy. So anybody that's not verified and they're on our Telegram group, we call the wall of joy, we're going to remove you from the group. You don't belong there. Okay. In other words, we're going to cut access to those people that don't deserve it. Okay. For whatever reason, if you're not paying attention or don't care enough to know, you don't deserve access. What we're trying to do is get to the point where we're working with a group of people. What I'm trying to build right now, just so you're very clear of my point of view, I'm trying to get 300 people together that I really trust. They're not going to sell. They're not going to do anything weird. Okay. And that they're going to pitch in. They're going to both sides of the coin. They're going to pitch in whatever they can, $1, $5, $100, whatever. They're going to contribute. So they're not going to do anything that's going to bring harm, and they're going to actually add to. I want 300 people I can work with that are going to be like that. Now, we haven't succeeded so far, okay, but I'm not done filtering out the ones that we don't want, okay? It's going to take a couple of more weeks to filter them out. But once they're gone, then it'll be much harder for them to get back in because we'll have a lot more requirements for them to come back. And it's for everybody's, it's for the good of all, right? Because we need to protect what we're building. How many of you agree with that statement? We need to protect what we are building.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
Yes, sir.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
So I really don't want to. I really
Agreed.
don't want to give people $50 multiple times a week if I can't trust them. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. I don't. I don't.
Absolutely.
If I don't trust it, why am I giving you that much money? It's a lot of money, especially here in the Philippines. Like
Fair
$50.
enough.
That's like a week's. That's like 40 hours of work. $50. That's a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money compared to $1 million. Okay. $1 million is. Most Filipinos will never, accumulate enough salary wages in an entire lifetime to accumulate $1 million USD, United States dollar. Okay. They might be able to get to 1 million pesos, which is about $20,000 in a lifetime.
Million.
But 1 million USD is such a big number, and that's what we're offering. So I know probably a good half of you here are from the Philippines. You know exactly what I'm talking about. But I'm also talking specifically to those of you that know you got something wrong with you, and you're here in the meeting, and you better straighten up, or else, okay. See you later. Okay. So, and it's not that I got a problem with Filipinos. Obviously I wouldn't live here if I had a problem with Filipinos, but it's just that half our community is Filipino. Okay. So naturally, I need to make sure I address, some cultural concerns. Okay. Because the Philippines is an interesting country, culturally speaking, in the area of poverty. Okay. Different countries deal with poverty in different ways. And I know how it works here in the Philippines because I've been living here long enough to figure it out. Okay. It's just very different than what I've seen in other places. But the bottom line is this, guys, that if we can cooperate, we all get to win together. We've got some people from Western countries here, like Joe here, for example, he's from the U.S. and we also got Kay, who's Korean, but she's also in the U.S. A U.S. citizen over there, even though her nationality or her I don't know what you would call it, race would be Korean, but we got people from these Western countries in Europe and Australia, New Zealand, a lot of these countries that are pretty well developed with us too, and thank God they're here because this thing would have never worked if we built it on only Filipinos. Okay, good thing this is a worldwide effort. Okay, we're a melting pot of many cultures, and with those cultures comes religion and ways of thinking and ways of being and ways of celebrating and ways of dealing with life itself in all ways, shapes, and form. It makes my job very difficult because I can't always say exactly what I think. I I have to carefully say what I want to say because I don't want people to feel left out. I don't want people to feel like I'm, you know, against them in any way. You know what I'm saying? I'm for everyone. I just need to let you guys know that I'm working hard to build a team of 300 right now that I fully trust. I'm working really hard to make that happen. I feel like I did a good job before building a team of about 30 people that I can really trust. I pretty much succeeded at that. And I've taken it from 30 people to now 300 people. The next stop will be 3,000 people. Okay. So that's what I'm looking to do. I'm building trust because when we come to the final point of actually, laying down, who are the co-founders, and we're going to end up with 10,000. When we get done filtering everything out properly, it's going to be 10,000 fully trusted co-founders, fully trusted. Okay. We won't have anybody playing games with us in that group. And then we'll be off to bringing in 1 million partners. We'll see how that one goes when we get there. But I feel very confident we can create a team of 10,000 fully trustworthy, a team of 10,000 trustworthy people that understand the sacred trust of what we're doing, and are willing to, do their part to support it. Because, what motivates me isn't money. If you haven't figured that out by now, Kay, I did see your hand up. Don't go away. Put your hand back up, Kay. And David, keep your hand up too. But if you haven't figured out what motivates me is that I don't want to be stuck in a trap that I see is going to close on humanity in less than 5 years. Okay. I mean, you could say I've got to the point of living the good life and I want to keep it going. Right. And unless humanity gets to a certain level, then we're in a pretty serious trap right now. They want to change our bodies. Transhumanism, look into it. That's what motivates me. I'm really motivated by that because I do not want to be a robot. Okay. I'd rather be dead. And honestly, I don't want to be dead either. So, that's what keeps me going. That's my motivation. And I get up early in the morning because of it. I go to bed late at night because of it. Everything I do, I'm putting a 7-day effort into this thing every day. I'm just putting all this effort because I know how short the time is we've got to work with in order to pull together enough people to say no, you know. And I'm not the only one. The good news is that there's a lot of guys like me doing their thing, whatever that might be, and we're all kind of, trying to beat the same thing. We're trying to get the, trying to get out of the trap, but we can't get out
Amen.
alone. We can't get out alone. We got to get out together. It's the only way it works. That's the puzzle. All right. So, Kate, are you there? Did you want to say something? You can unmute. Maybe she lost her connection. I don't know. All right. Hunter, did she write something in the chat that maybe I missed?
No, it doesn't look like it.
Okay, there's Kay. Go ahead, Kay. Go ahead and raise. You get, there you
No,
go.
hello. Kay and I, we are here.
Miki and
Yeah.
Kay. Okay.
She was asking, how many so far have made a payment of $100? So yeah, that's her question. So, but she got suddenly shy. Say hi.
Yeah. So far, I would say it's over 100 people, have paid so far.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah. So it's right about that right now. And the good news is that the selling is pretty much stopped. Most, like 99% on PML. So it's very easy for the price to go up, and we should have no problem getting to the price target of 1.4 million. It could happen today, It could happen today. And then we could turn selling back on for a little bit. And now people will realize that, don't be in a hurry to sell. Like if nobody is in a hurry to sell and only a handful of people actually do it because there was a real need, right? Fine. But I'd rather have 20,000 instead of $20, right? So, to get the
Right.
1,000X opportunity 2 weeks from now, you want to probably hang on to what you got. So there you go, Kay. Good to see you. Always good to see you.
Good to see you here.
We all remember Kay. We'll never forget Kay.
Thank you.
All right. One of our newest wells, also I believe from Australia, is David. Go ahead, David. You got your hand up.
Oh, hi. Yeah, oh yes. The promotion, is that finishing today also, or that through to the 15th?
You're talking about the $100 PML?
Yes. Yeah.
the opportunity to dip into it over and over and over again is going to go away today in a few hours.
Okay.
Everybody needs to do it at least one time. It's not a monthly
Yeah.
thing. It's just a one-time thing. It's how it should have been
Okay.
originally built. It just, we're at the end of the week. It's the weekend, and the programmer did it a certain way. We'll get back to that next week. So now it's next week. It's Monday. So we're going to turn off that ability to go into a dip, 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 dip. So if you want to dip a few more times into that and accumulate PML really fast, David, feel free to do so.
Okay. I was going to do a little bit right like soon, and then the rest of it later on, a bit to the like in the next couple of days. But so it's going to still be available through to the 15th to
Well,
that
it's going to be
promotion.
ongoing. So the way the promo works, where you get to double your money, that will be
Yeah.
going on for a long time.
Oh,
And
so that button will still stay there if we haven't done it,
yeah,
if we haven't done it at all.
exactly. But the difference is, are you qualified for paid training or not? See, if you don't
Yeah.
do it, you're not qualified anymore. So
Ah,
basically,
okay. Yeah.
the deadline to get it done is the 15th. And anything after the
15th.
15th, you're not getting paid training anymore. You might still be able to get into the training, but you're not going to get paid. Okay.
Okay. And also, to buy the other coins, like the PLG one,
Yeah.
is there also a promotion on that or not? Or you just go to
There is, because you're well. So if you go to your well page and read that carefully, all of your market buys are you're getting more. So you
okay, so
you're good for nothing that technically that ends on October 1st. But because we've carried it on probably long enough, and so you got a little bit more time there to
so you
for
do that
promotion.
on that page, on that whale page.
Yeah.
You buy the
But,
coins
but,
there.
but you're new. Well, I'm going to clue you in that I'm the source. Okay.
Okay.
So, as a well, always check with the source and maybe you work something out with the source. Okay.
Okay.
On on
Because
an on
I
on an
didn't
ongoing
see.
basis, on an ongoing
Yeah.
basis,
Okay.
because even after the promos on the websites, they may go away or whatever. You can always talk
Yeah.
to me and see if there's a way you can help out the community, and
Okay.
we
Great.
can work something out. You
Thanks.
know,
Cool. So on that whale page, there should be an option there somewhere to buy coins.
right? There's a place for you to register coins that you purchase. So
Oh
uh,
yeah, you put the transaction ID in.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
it's
right.
supposed to be a
Uh
secret though.
oh,
It's
all
a
right.
it's a
Sorry.
it's a well
Yeah,
secret.
I wasn't sure how that all worked, and
You're new, but yeah, my line is open to like if a well needs to get a hold of me, they have permission to wake me up. That's how much access wells have to me. That like if they need to get a
so
hold of me for something that they think is important, they can reach out to
yeah.
somebody here, like Nancy. I mean, I live with these guys, Nancy and several of them.
Oh,
And
oh,
then
okay.
if I'm asleep, they can say, hey, David needs to talk to you. It's important. No, I'll get up and
Yeah.
talk to you. So
Ah, thanks. I
that's
appreciate
that's
it.
that's one of the benefits of being a whale. Okay, is how much
Well, at least there's
access you
not
get
too
to.
many. At least there's not too many hours difference between Australia and Philippines.
That's true.
I probably won't be ringing you in the middle of the night.
Well, no, it's not that, but I do take a nap from noon to 5 p.m. The only way I can
Oh,
get up at
okay.
5 a.m. is by going to, taking a nap in the afternoon.
Ah,
I call it a
um,
siesta, even though I'm not in Mexico, so it's a siesta. It's hot
okay.
here.
So the coins, do I do that through the my wallet? Buy
Yeah,
those if I'm going to buy
yeah,
like
yeah,
T
absolutely.
the TP.
Yeah,
Is it called T Token Pocket?
yeah. You could do it through that, although I'm not as familiar with that particular, wallet. I'm more of a MetaMask person myself.
Oh, they're also on MetaMask. Okay.
Yeah. So, but the bottom line is that My executives are a good place to go to. They're somewhat familiar with that if you ever have like technical questions. But if you ever have like you want to you want to do something that's going to help the community, and I'm all ears, I'm all ears. I'm ready to do anything for the community, so
Okay.
we'll make something
Yep.
work where it's mutually beneficial for everyone.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
That's
All
that's
sounds
the point.
great.
So
Yeah.
welcome to being a well. You're a new one.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
All
I'm
right.
excited.
We're glad
Yeah.
you're
It
here.
sounds really brilliant. Okay.
Yep,
Yeah.
there you go.
Thank you.
All
Great
right.
call too.
Good enough. Thank you. Appreciate you saying so. Anyway, guys, so this is an important, I think this recording needs to get out there. If the people are not in attendance, they need to watch this one. They need to hear it from me, how important it is to get verified, to do everything the right way, stop playing games and get serious. We're talking about millions, not thousands here, or even hundreds. Some people are walking away with hundreds and they're going to be happy with that. I don't They need to hear this message because I've really made it clear today that the time is so short. The 1000x opportunity, it's going to be gone before you know it. And those that took advantage of it, they're going to be so happy. A year from now, they'll be like, the kings and queens walking around on planet Earth, because they're going to have way more than everybody else. And the way I set up pool funding by design, it is going to have a class system. Okay. There won't be a poverty class, but there is a class system because I believe in that friction between classes, and so I think it's a good thing. And so basically, we get the whales as a class, the co-founders as a class, the partners as a class, regular members another class. These are different classes, and as the numbers of people in a class get bigger, how much their portion is smaller. Okay. You're getting like the most right now, right? You got 2 more weeks to get the most that you can, and that's it. So take advantage of the time that we got, and then look forward to the rest of your life because it's going to be great. All right, so let's see how I want to wrap this up. Yeah, I just think we need to make it clear, get verified, right? Get verified. We need to know who you are. So everybody unmute and say, get verified.
Get
Get
verified.
verified.
everyone.
Verified.
Verify. Get verified.
Get
Get
verified.
verified.
Get
Get
Don't
verified.
verified.
Okay.
don't procrastinate. Just do it
Get
now.
Verified.
verify.
Verified.
Get
Do it.
verified.